All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are back to playing Fragged Empire tonight. First game of the year. Happy New Year if you're in the chat, if you're watching this later. If you're watching this years from now, it was the first day of 2024. So Happy New Year. So Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everyone had fun. We've decided we're not going to play Frag tonight. We're just going to talk about Rebel Moon for 2 hours because a few of us have some things we want to get off our chest. Maybe some other places too for Jeremy. Anyhow, but yeah, we're back to playing Fragged, and we have the full crew back. We were missing Joe last time. We'll give him the summary, tell him about what happened. But we're going to do what has become what I think a very fun tradition for this game is have everyone introduce each other. And we're going to start by Joe introducing Kill, if that's all right. How's that?
Okay. Yeah. Kill is our big boy combat dude who's very hard-headed and does what he wants, even when it might be the wrong thing or bad for him. But he does it anyways, and it's commendable for that.
Fantastic. I feel like you also possibly describe half of that sounded like a Jeremy description. Then
Art imitates life.
Yeah, I know exactly. Kill, could you go ahead and please describe Jita Essence, please?
Jita is she's the rainbow girl. She's good at driving things, and she's real nice, good with computers and lots of stuff I'm not smart enough to do, and just real lucky she's here. She's a salamander. She soaks up sunlight and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then Jita, could you please go ahead and introduce us to Dr. T?
Yes. So we have quite the crew with us. We've got a lot of different personalities and different species and whatnot. And by far, the one that is the most interesting of all of us is our Nephilim doctor. I really do wonder where he studied to be a doctor and who thought that giving him a degree in doctoring was a good idea, because the perspective that he brings to the practice of medicine is a very unique one. He's definitely gotten us out of a lot of troubles over our travels together, but occasionally you might find something somewhere you weren't expecting it to be, or an extra or a fewer of something, and he always just has some like words that go together that say why that's a thing that is now okay. And so we go along with it because we're highly appreciative to have him around. But this is the cost of being doctored by Dr. Hard T.
Dr. T, I feel like there were some shots fired in your direction. I'm
There were. I would like a chance to respond to that. One,
floor is yours.
I got my degree from the School of Hard Knocks. You don't need that fancy medical degree. You just need to have the heart of a young Nephilim who's just thinking, man, I wish Legos were made of flesh. And there you go.
Okay. Well, there you go. Take that, Jita.
I'd like to think it's an actual metal degree that he's got on his wall.
I should dig into this. I don't remember the lore. I've read all the Nephilim stuff. I've read all of it, but I can't remember it all. There's so much of it. But like, I'm trying to remember, do they actually have? I don't even think there are degrees and stuff like that. At least not the way we consider them. But I like how it's the School of Hard Knocks, and your nickname is Hard T. Is that like the official doctor terminology? It's not doctor. Yeah. It's hard this, hard that.
Once you become a medical professional, you get the prefix hard on your name.
Like hard Hauser, hard steamy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. That's it.
Gotcha. We've learned something today. This is all canon. Dr. T, could you go ahead and introduce us to Maya Dianu?
Yes, the Divine Mocha. Like, follow, and subscribe. She's a person with lots of people that like her on TV, and it's really great. And she's fun, and she's Kill's child, which kind of makes me like her godfather. I don't know how that works. And she's always telling me about these things she watches on the things, talking about like all sorts of different ships. But I'm like, I'm just not that interested in like astronavigation.
All very fair. It's all very fair.
I don't think she means those kinds of ships.
Yeah, I don't think so
I don't
either.
know what you could be talking about.
It's that cultural.
You said shipping. I think it's like logistics
ship.
or something.
Mhm.
I really don't care about that either.
You should make like a reality show. It's called Shipping Lanes, and it's just like a dating show.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cool.
god, yes.
Copyright 2024. So Lollygagging. Shipping Lanes. That's almost as good as the gag reflex. Oh yeah.
It is.
Amazing.
All right. And then finally, Maya, could you please introduce us to our big ball of bacteria, Zatek?
Absolutely. Zatek Killer Z is what Maya calls him, because there's all these weirdos that try to dox him. And because they all just want a piece of that shiny spork face that he has. And honestly, it glints a little much. It's a little bit difficult to record. And if he was as nice as he pretends to be, he would turn on the shine like 40%. But you know, I can just do it in post. It's not a big deal. But he has this shiny spork face, and he says he's Predator cosplaying as C-3PO. And I'm really into cosplay, so I'm very helpful with him and polishing up his spork when he's not on the stream and is not glinting off of the starlight.
Fantastic.
Killer Z.
Zatek, have we asked you what do you look like beneath the mask?
No, I don't think so. I imagine it's just kind of like a blob, like
Pizza dough
he doesn't. Yeah,
with like an imprint of a spork.
yeah. It's like where a lot of the wires and stuff kind of terminate from his hair. It's just kind of a mess. He leaves it.
God. I love this out. They're so weird. It's fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay, y'all. If you refreshed your grit, giving yourself an extra downtime point, start a session. So make sure you do that if you haven't already done so. Last session, the crew broke into the Green Cloaks headquarters in the heart of Mishpasha 1, the city where we've been spending the first several episodes of the campaign here. You were tasked with retrieving the brain-infected pirate by a Volp agent, a very special ops Legion agent that Kill was ordered to sort of proceed with his kidnapping, and you all assisted. Went pretty well overall. I think there wasn't really any major things that went wrong. Ran into some security drones, took them out, outsmarted a couple lab assistants with some sort of clever tactical play, and you even used some knockout grenades that Dr. T crafted to put to sleep several Green Cloaks while at a security booth. Aside from that, the actual heist, we had a couple other scenes here and there. Kill and Maya, you both met with Reg Chara, who is one of these mercenaries that have been in and around the city, and he wanted to purchase this crystal data shard that you all had discovered when you were kind of roaming through the coastal facility, and where you actually found your new turtle friend Franklin. The two of you were uncertain, so you kind of held off. You sort of kicked the can down the road a little bit with him, so you'd contact him later, that kind of thing. Back at the Posh Chat, Jita and Dr. T were doing some further tests on that shard, revealed all sorts of info, some astronavigational data for the Cerberus system, which today is where the Legion have made their home. But the data on the shard seems to actually predate Legion occupation. Even more noteworthy, there's a bunch of terrestrial navigation data for Hypnos, which is one of the planets in that system. Highly restricted, but also remember to have like the ability to see into the past, like glimpses of the past. That's sort of the phrase that rumors throw out there. You also found that the shard seems to have this incomplete mapping of a bunch of other systems as well. And the common denominator that two of you discovered was that it all corresponded to the ancient Mondian nation, which was a favored species of the Archons and was said to be destroyed by a pair of Nephilim genocrats, not the one that Dr. T is currently taking orders from, during the Great War, a while back. So we are going to pick up not immediately afterwards, because if you all recall, the last scene was Zatek and Boers rolling by in the dark in a rental van outside of the security entrance to a underground parking garage to gain access into the HQ. And you guys, they chucked some sleeping gas, like, so they'll let you all escape the garage, pile into the van, and drive on back. We'll say you're able to sort of move faster than reports, and you're able to get back to your ship, the Pos Chad. You're able to clamber on. There does start to, I would say all of you probably would notice at a certain point, there's various communication lines that have been popping up here and there about something went down in downtown, like headquarters kind of got ransacked. There's this and that. So like they're starting to see some chatter, not necessarily looking for you all specifically, but just calling out the crime. So I'm going to ask you all then, what is it you would want to do? Are you just looking to get the hell out of Dodge right then? Was there any lingering business that you had before you left planet? What are we thinking?
I think
Maya doesn't
we
have
needed.
anything.
Okay.
Sorry,
Nothing from
sorry.
Maya. Gita, what are you going to say?
I think we wanted to establish if Boers wanted to come with us into space.
I asked him.
well.
He didn't.
Boris was in the van with Zatek when they came by to, like, as your getaway drivers. So I would say that he does seem to be willing to do it. Though Zatek, since you are the one who has the most common communication with him, you would hear a voice.
I want to go to space. I'm so excited. Do we have to take the tentacly one there?
I think we do for now, but
Can we rent him into space? I hear that's a fun thing to do.
it will be easier to deal with them if we have to once we're in space. So that's a positive.
Okay. So we're going to rent him into space. Our first available opportunity.
Maybe not the first. We'll sit on that for a little bit.
Okay. He tried to burn me to death, so I think it would be very fair to, like, freeze him through the vacuum of space. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, something poetic about that.
Okay. Okay, second available opportunity.
So you guys get back to your ship. You and what is it? So what does it look like? You guys describe to me, like, where does everybody go when you're, like, getting ready? Presumably, Dr. T, you take a moment at least to get the body into the stasis chamber. If you recall, the Volp agent had delivered, presumably, this special stasis chamber that you all can, that, you know, Dr. T and whoever else killed. You guys can figure out how to hook that up and put the body in. But other than that, like, what does it look like? So what's, like, basic process for how you guys, who goes to where? Like, who goes to the cockpit, the bridge? Who goes to, like, sensors? Who goes just elsewhere? Like, what does it look like when you all kind of leave orbit and get into sort of ship position?
Check all engines are good first, and then to the cockpit.
Mhm.
The gunnery cockpit, that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got engineering and operations, so I'm pretty much just anywhere that, you know, some issue might pop up internal wise. That's what I'm paying attention to.
All right. Well, I am going to then draw your attention to a map of your ship that I've grabbed from. Here, I gotta show it to everyone on the
Ooh. I like it.
on the stream too. So obviously I didn't make this. This is Che and Peku sci-fi one. But this is this is kind of a closest approximation that I could get. It's not obviously perfect, but you can see I put some labels and things here and there that you can kind of see where stuff is.
That's
so
cool
as
as hell, Jeff.
right,
That's nice.
all I did is subscribe on Patreon, so I really don't deserve a ton of credit here. But I'll put a link in the show notes and stuff if you're interested in.
Nice.
So, so we'll say like you guys can kind of go wherever you want. So everything's not perfect, but I will draw your attention to a few things as we start looking around this map. There are a handful of stairs. So this is like a multi-tiered map too. So like keep an eye out for like various stairs and things like that. Towards the front of the ship, we got the stasis chambers and things. There's probably going to be more than just the handful you have, but they're not entirely visible. There is an arboretum that I did. One I did. I did do that myself. I did add some plants. You've got a couple bunks in different places on the left side of the screen there. You can see there's a bunk with like 2 beds. On the bottom side of the screen, just north of where the jump drive is, we can see that there is another bunk. I'm going to say that's literally bunk beds. So there's probably 2 of them right there. And then somebody gets the solo kind of in the upper right. There's also the astrometrics lab in the bottom right. Life support is all the way to the bottom left there. There's a scanner section, a bridge and cockpit area. The bridge, when you think of the bridge, don't think of it like a Star Trek large spacey bridge. It's much smaller, more like a Firefly type of bridge is what I'm thinking. Like a couple people could stand, but there's really not a ton of places to sit. And so that's my thought. So as you all are making ready to lift off and head to orbit, head to space. So who's flying the ship? Who's piloting?
I have
question.
tactical. Is that the skill for piloting a ship? I vaguely remember that we've actually gone over this and made sure everybody had the required skills, but I don't remember which was which.
So tactical is a personal combat skill. So that's not necessarily it. I mean, honestly, like the way I see it is, I think everyone here is probably capable at the very least of taking off and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a question of like if you ever gotten like a firefight or whatever is really what we probably have to concern ourselves with.
That was the command, right? Because there's like command, engineering, operations, and gunnery.
Exactly.
So wasn't command the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. I was looking at the wrong one. So I have operations and gunnery are the 2. So
is it command or operations, Joe? I'm not sure. Let me double check. Keep
I
talking.
could see it as either.
I know for sure that Jita is all about the astrometrics. So that is definitely what, with her 6 in astronomy, she is definitely like the astrometrics lab is definitely
Command for
her
pilot.
place.
Nice.
Okay.
Joe was right. Command for pilot. Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
So again, who jumps in the pilot seat?
I've got command if no one else does.
I mean, you've got the most, like, you've got tentacles. You can pull all the levers.
Okay.
Do those these amazing evasive maneuvers.
Yeah, just touching all the buttons all at once.
Do you think
No one
it's
else really
safe?
wants to touch him after he's touched him too.
That's true. That's
Kinda
why
his
we let him
face.
continue. Like he said it at one time. Nobody has followed
It's
since.
so gross.
This is mine
There's
now.
like stains and stuff. The voice is in your ear, Zatek, and it's like,
Do you really think it's a good idea to allow the murderous one to pilot the vessel? You remember what happened to the last vessel that he was in charge of? It was burning to a crisp and crashed on the beach, and I nearly died inside of it.
It's true, but he wasn't driving it at the time. So I think as long as we keep him in the driver's seat, we'll be safe.
Okay, you know best.
okay. Dr. T, you go ahead and you hop into the bridge, into the pilot seat. There's probably another station up here, some sort of basic comm station or something like that. It looks like Jita went over to Astrometrics. Zatek, you're hanging out in the Arboretum with your buddy Boars. And then Kill, you're by the gunnery. Like we'll say that's towards the front of the ship. We'll say somewhere beyond the stasis chambers. We'll say, kind of up there somewhere.
Cool.
Okay.
Sit in my old man chair. Oh God, and I'm in space.
And
I
fall
spaced
asleep.
myself.
He just falls asleep. He just sits in his own man chair and falls asleep. All right. So just for fun, let's have everybody give me a quick roll and let's see how this takeoff and as various, I'll say Maya, we'll say since you're on the bridge, some comms start coming in about clearance, and like there's like this hesitation to give clearance. Like there's a yellow alert going on within the city center. There's a kind of criminal activity. There's sort of like hesitation to give clearance for any ships to leave until that is resolved. And so like you're getting a lot of hemming and hawing from various folks to kind of allow the release of the ship from the actual platform, the oceanic platform in which you've parked your ship. How do you handle that, Maya?
Maya just straight up lies with absolute confidence. Like, I'm sorry, but an emergency on Mace Pressure 1 is really not the problem of Pinnacle Fuel. They're expecting this transport very shortly. These are things. I'm sorry. Are you capable of explaining why a megacorp shares might fall? Because I certainly don't want to. So if you think that's a good idea to keep us here, then I'm happy to stay. But otherwise, you should probably just let us go.
Roll a persuasion test. Yeah, perfect.
All right. Let's see.
Excellent. So again, 3d6s as your bonus to persuasion, difficulty at 12, we'll say.
That is a 17.
Okay, that I suppose is good. Like, and you hear like there's like a sudden nervousness, and like maybe they leave their comms on as like their supervisor comes over and hears it, and then just kind of barks at like the air, the space air traffic controller, just like let them go. What's wrong with you? We can't deal with this right now. We have enough problems going on in the city. You want to go to the mega coast down here? What's wrong with you? And then you're able to take off. Dr. T, if you would please, could you roll us a command test? We'll see how smooth the takeoff is and the ascent through the atmosphere and into space. How's it go?
So I rolled a practice test earlier and it was really, really great. So I don't have high hopes.
I'm pretty sure you guys are going to crash and burn. Chuck sucks at rolling in this game.
Oh, wait. Okay. So we got a 14.
Oh!
And I got that 6, so I can re-roll that too.
Absolutely, you can.
Nice.
And I turned it into a
1.
1. It's all right. So I got a 13.
That's
good.
what we expect in this game.
Takeoff is perfectly smooth. He maybe jumps it just a little too fast before like the landing clamps that actually wrap around So go ahead.
Bores his pot like.
Just like bores his pot, you see Zatek just rolls over and falls and cracks a little bit, and you just
I told you so. He's trying to kill me.
And then like there's like a shudder a little bit, but eventually you all get off just fine. The opening it takes probably, I don't know, an hour or two probably to get all the way up to space or something like that. I don't really know. But the first leg of it is very simple, and there's a kind of a little bit of roughness to it just because of the weather. But once you kind of get above into the upper atmosphere, everything kind of goes smoother and smoother. And eventually you all kind of feel that, I would imagine you have an anti-grav, so it's not like a weightlessness situation, but you can definitely feel the creaks and such as the pressure weighs down on the posh Chad. And not in ways that like make you necessarily nervous about like anything going on, but just that familiar crunch here and there of like a house settling. And yeah, you head off into space and you can see on your, I'll say, Jita, you can see on your charts, you're kind of over in the astrometrics lab a bit. You're taking a look at things. There's all sorts of stuff that's kind of popping up. That Marvel Station is connected to the planet via this space elevator that kind of goes down to, I want to say, Mishpasha 2, one of the other cities, the larger city on one of the other continents. And you can hear like various chatter and traffic as people are kind of coming and going to it. Obviously, you can't necessarily see it with your eyes, but they're all manner of like ships coming in and out here and there. So next thing then, Jita, you're gonna be the one kind of plotting a course. So
Yes.
it's around this time, Jita, that you sit down, you look in, and you're getting signals into the ship. You're seeing someone is feeding coordinates to you, like almost like a flight path is being kind of funneled into you. Give me I'll take a computers test if that's all right. If you're good with that.
Yes. So okay. Oh, good gracious. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I have a 10, so I'm gonna spend some bits to re-roll that.
Sure.
That got me to 12.
Okay, 12 is fine. So you notice that whoever is sending this communication is not coming from the bridge. It's not coming from Dr. T. The basic like metadata on like who is actually like the user info, where it's coming from, any kind of stuff seems to be scrubbed. Like whoever is sending this to you is very good, kind of hiding where it's coming from. But you're seeing kind of a basic plan, a basic astro flight plan, and it's effectively taking you with your mundane non-jump drives through most of the system. And it's kind of passing by a bunch of different moons of Miss Pasha. It's passing by, like it's kind of veering you away from like Setzer's Comet, which is sort of traversing the system itself, and it's taking you out in the direction of like Lilith, this icy planet on the far extreme of the system. It's where Kills people, the Legion, have kind of time. That's like their planet within the system that they kind of have their headquarters. It's not their home planet, but for this system, it's kind of where they've congregated much. And it's kind of taking you out in that direction. And again, you're not certain where this is particularly coming from, but you also see more data starts coming in. So it's got these coordinates it's sending you out to, and then it's sort of it's feeding you like jump drive data. And then you're seeing like what looks like a series of like waypoints that they've kind of fed in. And then as you're kind of looking through the data, a small little message comes up on your console. And it just basically says, like, it's just really simple thing. It's like it's telling you you're just a normal merchant vessel. No behavior that would not fall in line with that concept, right? So it's like giving you like this basic instruction. So Cheetah, what do you do with that?
Yes. So Cheetah's gonna kind of open comms to everyone, and just say, Dr. T, great job getting us kind of off of Miss Pasha. Maya, awesome talking your way out of all of that. Little bit of an update for everyone. We seem to have a bit of an ally that's somehow feeding us some flight path information. It seems to be very useful and accurate so far. But we are being instructed that we are a freight vessel and just to act normal. I'm not entirely sure we're good at acting normal very often, but Zatek, do you think you might be able to try to get some information about who is sharing all of this useful information with us?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me get to a computer.
Okay.
I'll move over.
Yeah. There's probably a decent terminal here or there. I don't know if the Arboretum's probably the best place to do it, but it doesn't take long for you to move on over to the astrometrics or whatever. Okay, so you want to see if you can, what is it you're trying to uncover as a tech?
So she says that we're getting some communication. I just kind of want to be listening to it as it's coming in and capture as much just of metadata about it as I can to try and narrow down where it's coming from, get some ideas, see if I can get anything out of it.
Computers would make sense.
Okay. I got a flat roll on this.
I mean, you said it's directing us to Lilith? Is that
It's directing you like in like to the outer portions of the system where Lilith is. Think of Lilith in some ways like the Pluto equivalent.
15.
Right? It's like
right.
way on the
Makes sense. I'm sorry. I didn't quite catch where we were being sent.
Yeah, you're not being sent to the planet. You're just being sent out that far. You also would know that like activating jump drives is something that you have to do when you're away from like other gravitational like sources of like gravitational pull. So you can't activate your jump drive like in atmosphere, for instance. Like you have to be a little bit away so you're not getting pulled. And you also have to like the process of using your jump drives is where you kind of open up these ley collectors. So like your ship will open up and like towards the front of the ship, you can see like these long posts that come out and they literally collect and open up ley dust, which is invisible. You can't see it, but you can detect it. And then that kind of fuels and fuels and fuels. And then eventually your jump drive will actually go off. And you can't like really store ley dust unless you have very special equipment, which you guys don't. So usually you do this just before and you take in just enough to do your jump. And it's mostly like the outer portions of the system where you're going to find larger pools of ley dust, like next to Haven and stuff like that. You're not going to find as much. There is a jump gate, but that gate here doesn't go to where you're going. That goes to a specific other system. How'd you do, Zatek?
I got a 15.
You are sure that is coming from Vespasha. You can see that there's definitely something there. It's being funneled from Vespasha. That's probably all you're getting. Beyond that, there's like nothing. Everything you know that everything coming in is being scrubbed, like actively scrubbed. So these communications that are funneling, they're sort of being narrow beamed towards your ship specifically. So it means somebody who knows your ship, knows your transponder, and right as you're like going through that, you see more messaging is kind of coming in, and it's giving you an alternative transponder code. It seems to be like it's kind of corresponding with some of those waypoints that Jita kind of picked up on the path, and the instructions it's giving you is to use this transponder code at each of one of these waypoints, like one after the other after the other, and so like you see this list of things. If you guys are on comms, Kill. If you want to roll a culture test, and as a Legion, you can take I'll give you a +3 to this.
Oh, okay. That gets me to a +1. Got so much culture. 9, 12, 13.
12's good.
+1.
12's good. Yeah, it's basic, just basic 12. The basics of the Cerberus system are that one of the reasons the Legion likes it, despite it being somewhat sectioned off, it's effectively surrounded by like this constant series of ley storms, which are very dangerous. It's very dangerous for any ships, whether they're traveling like mundane or whether they're traveling FTL with like jump drives. It's very, very dangerous. It could do all sorts of things. It could kind of rip apart your ship. It could screw with the minds of people. Like even psionics, for instance, are supposed to be able to manipulate it in some way, because it's all about like this is sort of the roiling ley storm. But the Legion, who are like the home system is Cerberus, they've set up these astronavigational buoys throughout the storms that helps guide ships through it. Usually you're subject to some kind of search once you get through, because there's a series of like inspection points on the other side. And the astronavigational buoys are just an easy way through. It's not the only way through, but that's the way through. If you weren't to take those buoys, you would have to essentially get like a psionic navigator, somebody who is crazy and capable of doing it. Otherwise, it's extremely risky and you might never get out of the storms. Likely, that's what these waypoints are that Jita's seeing on her communication.
Yeah, I'll make sure to share that with her. And I know we got plenty of crazy people on here. I don't think any sort that can lead us through without using them. Of course, just means maybe we need to be better prepared for this next checkpoint than we were for the last one.
So we think hopefully this is someone friendly sharing this information with us, not someone sending us to our doom, right?
I like to think that.
I'm guessing it's probably someone wants to be rescued. Who knows? Maybe it's some crazy AI been trapped there forever or something.
If we get searched, is there anything they won't like? I don't really know what would set them off or anything.
Well, I mean, we did leave when they were looking for the thing, and the thing is in our thing, so that's possibly problematic. But I don't know if anyone outside of Miss Pasha would really care that we've got that person.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, it really is going to depend on who's searching us.
That's true.
If it's a health inspector, then who knows how things are going to go.
Well, if it's a health inspector, you can talk to the health inspector
Yes.
because
Absolutely. I'm a doctor.
you are. You
Mhm.
have the medical diploma and everything.
I do.
All right. God dang it, health inspector. All right. So then, are you kind of following the flight plan at that point? Remember that Kill, the other thing you would know is that like your Volp agent gave you instructions to take the body and then said they would be contacting you later on delivery, like for delivery of the body. So like it's possible this could be somehow him or some of his agents kind of funneling this info into you as well. Are we then following that plan? Okay.
I think so. Kill, right? Yes.
I mean,
Do what we're told.
I'd
You got,
rather
like, a
not get
secret
lost
code?
in that horrible ice storm.
Mhm.
It
And-
seems like
yeah.
a bad way to die.
Is there any way to look at the coordinates and see if they are like going out progressively and they're not just going in a circle or something? Or is there not
Sure,
enough
yeah.
information
Give
from
us.
what we
I think an astronomy test is probably what we want.
Okay. Can I ask
Here.
someone else to do that? Because I'm very bad
And
at
you're
that.
in that.
Actually, no, I have astronomy.
You can do it.
I have
Okay.
astronomy.
Okay.
What's the
I
one
am
was
with
thinking
you.
of? Yeah. I can do that. Got a +1. 15 again.
See, Joe takes all the sixes that
Yeah.
Chuck needs.
Such a thief. Yeah, Zatek. It's kind of long range, but judging from what you have and what you can probably still access on like in system stream, it does look like that it's progressing further into what you think is likely like where you're heading. So like it's further out and away from the Haven system, and what your basic mapping would take you in the direction of the server system. So it all looks legit.
Okay. Cool.
But the transponder code is kind of quirky though. Like it's not wanting you to use your own, but it's wanting to use like this other kind of like identity. It's kind of giving your spaceship a fake ID.
I think that would make sense, though, if they're pretty choosy on who's allowed to come in or not. It's probably like a pre-approved one, I'd like to think.
Okay.
I'll go with
So
that.
we're in
Benefit
agreement.
of the doubt.
I'm following.
Do
She's
it.
like holding her finger over, like she's entered and everything,
Okay.
and whatever the
Let's
next
do
step
it.
is. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Oh,
Push this
we're
button.
supposed to be merchants. What are we selling?
So
Oh, we're
You know-
the lie I told was that we're with Pinnacle Fuel and we're doing transport for them, and we can just tell them that if they need to verify stuff, they can just call the station, the Mishwasha station.
Well, there you go. That's what we're transporting. We're transporting
Okay.
fuel.
all right.
Cool.
Something for Pinnacle Fuel. They've told us not to look.
Perfect.
So the travel all the way out into the direction, like into the outermost portions of the system is going to take a couple days, like 2 to 3 days, basically, for you to get all the way up to the edge of the system. You, in the meantime, will be passing by or through like the Monopoly Belt, passing at least around what would be the orbit of Alabaster, in its various systems, where Maya might even be from, to be honest. Whether or not you're probably not directly in path with it, but you're in that kind of its orbital, orbit around the sun, and eventually start kind of pushing out there. So you guys have about, we'll say, 2 to 3 days worth of just sort of ship downtime, mundane space travel. Jump drive is not functioning. It's just your standard engine drives. Is there anything that anybody wanted to do in that time, in your 2 to 3 days of downtime? Any projects you were looking to do, research you were looking to do, that kind of thing?
I know I wanted to try to construct my BioLens.
Okay, perfect. So you have...
It's a 14T.
Yeah, 14T. So the BioLens is... So your ship, by the way, I made for you guys. If you guys go into the handout section of Foundry, there is a POS chat entry that kind of goes over everything about your... I don't have like a good like form fillable sheet, so I just put everything there.
Nice.
So effectively, all of you should be paying 4 influence costs. Maya should be paying 5 influence costs because she's paying for the astrometric lab. Everything else, everyone kind of shares the cost because they share costs for builds, share costs for traits, share costs for weapons. It's just the astrometrics lab is extra, and one person can cover that, and that's what Maya's doing with her corp extra influence. All right, so you've got in your in your ship, you've got like 3 extra systems. You've got things to kind of pay attention to. So you got your arboretum, which essentially serves as a biotech workshop. You've got your astrometrics lab, which is an astronomy workshop, and you've got your stasis chamber, which is basically a medicine workshop. So you're trying to make a lens. Describe what the lens is. Like, what does it look like? What is it supposed to do? Walk me through that.
So it basically is predator vision. So it gives me an outline of living things. Okay. I like to think of it as me continuing to hotwire this little thing I've got with bores. And it's already kind of detecting stuff out there. And I'm just going to give it like a sight component that works with my Zhou form stuff too. So it's going to be slotting into my mask, and then have these sensors that can detect and ping out and feedback when there's organics around me.
All right. Is it just going to be like, it's like a purely mechanical device, right? An electronics device. We don't really have an electronics workshop or a mechanics workshop, but
it says it's like and it works as a biotech toolbox. So I figured it would be like a biotech.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, we can say that. So go ahead and give us a roll. 14T. So you're make your roll with biotech. You need a 14. Spend your downtime point, and then we'll see how it goes.
I get a +2. 13. So I'm gonna grit reroll that.
Okay.
I'm gonna grit reroll that again.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
I'm gonna grit reroll that.
Oh my gosh.
Again. Oh man.
12.
Are you not getting 6s along the way?
No, I didn't get any 6s.
Not see any. Okay.
Wow.
Nope.
So now you spend all those grit rerolls, which is not the same as like trying it again. Like you can always try it again, but you would spend additional downtime points. So like right now, this is all just with 1. So
I can do that.
What does it look like then as a tech? You're trying to like modify this little connectivity device that you have that gives you access to Bors's like basic, telepathic thoughts and everything. Why do you think it's failing? What do you think it's like? What's going wrong with Zatek here?
I think absolutely the problem would be Zatek's all about like not being wasteful. And he's like, I really think I can do this without having to waste any other parts, without having to add anything else to it. So he's just kind of bashing his head on it like, I can do it with what's here. And then after trying so many times, he's like, no, I can't. It's not going to work like this. I need more scraps and stuff to throw into it to make it actually work.
I'm going to say Boris is even probably really encouraging you, because maybe we'll say, since you're attaching it to that device, that it's somehow going to help like enhance his sort of visual or optical ability.
Oh, yeah,
He doesn't
that'd be
really
awesome.
have any right now. All of it's like
Yeah.
sort of spore sensory, but this might somehow. So the whole time he's like,
Don't get down on yourself, friend. It'll be just fine. You should ask the big one. He makes things apparently. But don't ask the tentacly one, because he'll probably just rig it to explode. And it would probably send some sort of feedback loop into my brain, causing me to explode as well.
That sounds entirely plausible. I won't ask him.
I really like space.
Is it possible to get like an assist on these rolls and I'm still the one spending the time?
yeah.
Or
So
how does that work?
So you can ask someone to do it. I mean, it's too late. I think it's too late now as you've been doing the grid. But if you spend another downtime point and you wanted to try again,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
wanted to like solicit like Kill's assistance with like mechanics, or like
Yeah.
somebody else could roll that since you're crafting it in this case and potentially give you a boost.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I'll burn
with
another point. Say like take Boar's advice and go over to Kill and say like, hey, I'm kind of struggling trying to put this lens together for me and Boar's. Some biotech sensor stuff that I'm having a hard time with. It's basically going to let me see things that are organic and through objects and walls and stuff. It's like
Tell him I
detecting
can
them.
see too. Tell him it's gonna let me see too. Tell him it's gonna let me see.
Yeah, it's going to let
too.
Boar see too. Yep.
And you see Kill he's in the armory and he's like really diligent. He's working on some sort of project with like 1 million different types of shells. And he's just like really like he's into it. He's looking to set up like a Judge Dredd style. He's got 1 million different types of bullet. And he's like, I suppose that's the thing to do. Yeah. We did bring him to space. He probably should have his full capacity. I'll just get back to this later, I guess. And he'll come.
You want to help with that too?
It's okay. Well, let's go do your thing.
Okay.
So
This-
Kelly,
this
you
one was
don't.
gonna
He's helping
burn
us,
people.
Boars.
Okay, I knew he would. I like this one.
This was great.
Kill, you don't have to roll biotech. You can roll like mechanics or something like that if you prefer to
Oh,
assist.
I love mechanics so much.
Yeah, and,
more.
and you would just need a 10 really to give him his like a +1 on this.
Okay. Well, let's see how we do. I think I will take that 10, 15, 18.
Nice.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's so good.
Oh.
Take a +2 on this attack instead of a +1. Like that's so
Sweet.
high above unexpected consequences. You can take a +2 as the.
All right.
Give it another go. God dang.
God.
Do you have any grid left?
I've got one left. Yeah.
Here you go, buddy.
So
I think
Yeah,
we
this
have some audience ones if you wanted to just re-roll a dice here or there.
doesn't need it.
You
Let's
got
see
it.
clutch. He
There you
got
go.
it.
There
Finally.
you go.
Okay. This takes literally the whole trip out from when you leave Miss Pasha, passing through the Monopoly Belt, passing past the Alabaster Orbit, all the way out. You're even getting like occasional signals of like streams coming out of Lilith and everything, and it's literally 2-3 days worth of like just trial and error. Like you try and you put it on and you hear like "Ow, ow, ow," and you turn it off. And eventually, Kill is able to give you some little extra tips here and there. It's not maybe something Kill has to do with like it's like scope, like thinking about using a scope on a weapon or something like that. Like that kind of extra knowledge you might have as helps kind of just pinpoint exactly what you want. This sort of somehow feeding this into kind of an optical nerve. And since
There was a time we
Wait.
got stranded on the swamp planet. We had to hunt this weird ooze monster.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Okay. Is anybody else doing any projects or anything in this downtime?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
What you got?
Oh,
Dr.
mine's
T?
easy. I've been noticing that Kill is napping in his old man chair a lot.
Okay.
And I've been extra noticing that when he stands up, the noises he makes are a little more aggressive than usual. So Kill's knees are going to be my downtime project.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh god!
So,
I'm gonna,
what does it look like, and what are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I managed to get myself a new laparoscopic piece in my med kit. So
Oh God.
I found. So while I was rifling through the ship engine, particularly the landing gear, I found this really great gel matte layer, highly lubricated, lots of, impact protection. I'm going to just try and sneak out the protective layer that exists between his knee bones right now and insert
Fine.
this stuff.
Okay. Dr. T, please roll. You're going to roll a medicine test. Give us a medicine test. Yeah, give us a... No, not medicine. Yeah, medicine test. Medicine test is good.
Yeah.
Please don't roll one.
Biotech's probably fine too.
We'll go medicine.
Last time he tried to heal someone, it went great.
Wait,
It did.
you want him to fail?
Sure.
Then he could be a pirate.
Oh, you bastard. Oh,
I got a
okay.
16. Not
Holy
great,
crap.
but pretty good.
Okay,
Pretty good.
so we're saying that you're doing this while he's sleeping in his
Yeah.
pilot seat?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been standing all day helping
Yeah.
with the stuff with Zatek and Boris, and so when I sit down, I just pass out.
Okay.
I do all my best work when Kill's asleep.
So you slowly kind of peel back on like the protective leggings and the knee pads that are part of his normal suit, and you almost like, like it's arthroscopic, so there's not going to be a whole lot of like a lot of blood or anything or residue here.
Little incision.
Well, it's here
Insert
and
the
there.
camera, the pincers.
Localized anesthetic so he doesn't wake up, that kind of thing. Okay.
I guess.
That was the best response, I guess.
Kill, I'm going to say the surgery goes so well with 16 that when you get up the next day or after your nap or whatever it might be, and no one's around, and you get up, and for the first time in a long time, your knees don't crack when you stand up, and there's no like residual pain anywhere in your leg at all. Like it feels strangely good. And
I mean, I must be adjusting well to this new suit. It did augment my mobility and reflexes. That must be what it is.
I adjusted the compression on it a little bit too to help out.
Don't ever touch my suit again.
You got it. My bad.
So, Kill, I'm going to give you for, we'll say, like the next month, until like, we'll say, not through the end of this adventure, like maybe the chapter after that. So, like the next month or two, take a +1 on any physical test where you think this would benefit you, like
Nice.
like movement related, right? It's not going
Right.
to like help you with anything
Just
like that.
improved my movement skill. I'm so excited.
So it's just going to be on tests. It's just going to be like this floating bonus you have, and it's your job to remember because I'm not going to for a little while.
Nice.
Okay.
Can't wait to secretly operate on everyone. This is amazing.
No.
Right? There's no downside. Always let the mad scientist operate on you. They
Fantastic.
never fumble when they do, except
We'll
when
probably
they
say
always
it
fumble on
took a little
PCs.
ways or a little bit of time too. I had to do it bit by bit so he wouldn't really notice.
Didn't
Yeah.
you have a really bad fail on when you were playing when we were playing Deadlands on Chuck?
I fumbled on both Chuck and Melissa's
Yeah. Oh,
characters.
Yeah, and that was like right off the bat too. I think it was
Yeah.
like first or second session with Chuck, so he had like a negative for so long because of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Good thing I'm not vindictive. Now, excuse me, I have to go find a way to torture that mushroom.
All right. Maya, did you have something in mind?
Yeah, I was hoping someone could explain and this is a might recap. But what does a shell modification do exactly?
Shell is a specific category of weapon, just like gun, for instance.
Okay.
And a modification. So, like in weapons, when you build them, you can add modifications to them. And so a
Okay.
shell modification is a modification that you can add specifically to a shell.
A shell type gun.
To a shell weapon.
Then my weapon is not a shell weapon, so nothing to be done there. Would like to have a brief conversation with Kill, which I was going to do when I was going to get some mechanical assist, but if that's not happening, I'd just like to have a chat.
You can
with
catch him like just before he's about to take a nap.
Yeah. Okay.
And he doesn't.
Moving
Hey, can I-
surprisingly limber, strangely enough.
You maybe catch him like somewhere over where there's some non-important stuff. You catch him trying to do a little bit of parkour one night. Because he's got the improved mobility now. He's got the mobility and the reflexes. He's a legion with a mobility of 4. That doesn't happen. And he's so excited, but he doesn't want anybody to see it. So he waits until he thinks everybody else is asleep. And like 2 a.m., he sets an alarm to just go and do nonsense.
And hearing this like thumping, my husband kind of just working on this cool new transition editing, and so she's not asleep and just hears this random thumping. She comes through just like, hey, what the hell are you doing?
We're shipping fuel, and I was trying to facilitate the sound of a fuel shipping vessel in case we're scanned, trying to find a way to make it sound like that's what we're doing.
Okay. That's pretty bad if that's what you were doing.
I've never done it before, so I don't.
Okay. Hey, listen, while I've caught you, I think everyone else is asleep. Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, okay.
Listen, this is a little weird, but like, you keep saying how stupid you are, and you're like one of the smartest people I know. And
Right.
like, I don't know if it's just something they tell Legion, because this other Legion I know well also thought he was really stupid, and like, I don't know if it's just something they like tell you guys when you go through like military academy or whatever, like to make you better listeners, but like,
Yeah.
you're not stupid, you're really smart.
I mean, I get by, but
I mean, you're old, but like that's different.
Well, I don't know why we have to go there. I was, Legion are a lot like onions. You on one layer they break you down to your base
That's
level, so they can't
ogres.
just mold you into what you need. But on the other hand, once you've been around a while, you start to realize it's useful to let people think you're an idiot, because then you can undersell and over deliver. Or get away with really, stupid shit
I mean,
because they think you're stupid. So when you do something stupid, it's like, oh, that was just normal, not him making a terrible decision.
Okay, well, as long as you don't really think you're stupid.
No, I'm really happy with myself. I've actually been doing a lot of meditation and self-awareness. I'm pretty good with myself right now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I keep catching. I know Boris doesn't have eyes, but I could swear he's giving Cutter to Hardy. But I don't know. I'm getting like a Boris wants to kill Hardy in his sleep vibe.
Look, it's you know those holovids you like to watch. Right now, they're both over here. They both want to be the most unique little butterflower in the ship, right? Give it 2 missions, and the 2 of them are just going to be. I don't really know how that works, but
Best friends. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that, you didn't think you were really stupid. Or even a little stupid.
I mean, I'm okay with, admitting I'm not the smartest. And, the real trick is, don't be afraid to surround yourself with people smarter than yourself
And that's
in certain
what
things.
smart people that's what a smart person would say. And
Right.
I know
Like if
you've
you're the
always
dumbest
taught me that.
person in a room full of smart people, that's, you chose to be in the right place. You're making good decisions.
Okay. I'm realizing that maybe you don't think you're stupid. Which
No,
is
I
good.
don't really think that much about anything. I just kind of,
That's because you're old, and it's probably difficult.
right. You
for
can look
to...
upon the field where my folks are grown. You can see it's barren.
And that's pretty much all I wanted to say to Gil.
Well, that's sweetie. Bring it in. Come here.
Aw.
You're a good kid.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Say thanks, Dad.
Say thanks, Dad.
I'm gonna. I suppose I've done enough facilitating fuel noises for now.
You're not actually gonna do that, are you?
I mean, that's what I said I was doing. So that's.
Maybe you shouldn't lie. You're pretty bad at lying.
No, I'm not. Like, I liked it better when we left on the hug.
She rolls her eyes at him and walks away.
Right. We'll cut over and we'll check in with Jita. Last one, I think, for downtime. Anything Jita doing in the downtime? The handful of days it takes to kind of get out to these edge of system chords.
So Jita, since Zatek has been helping boars with senses of sight and whatnot, I partially stealing this idea from chat, but I was thinking something similarly as well. Would like to facilitate boars being able to be mobile. So
Are you gonna
some type
Okay.
of some
he's coming
kind
for you,
of
he's coming for you. So Jita, what does this look like? Like what? Like, are you just sort of jury rigging like a remote control skateboard or something, or what is it exactly?
Oh my god, amazing.
So I hadn't. So this is going to be. It's going to have to connect to sort of the modulator that turns kind of him into kind of verbal commands, and then like the verbal commands into like some type of little wheelie. So chat suggestion was basically connecting him to like a Roomba kind of a thing. So
Okay.
like so they can move around. But it's going to be colorful and have like blinky lights and like because Twifers don't do engineering that isn't as pretty as it is functional. So I'm imagining like the kid sneakers that have like the blinking lights on the back.
Since I'm like 3PO, I'm picturing also it could be like an R2, like just like a capsule that he's in, and then wheels
like
like
a cleaning
that.
droid. Yeah, it's like a cleaning droid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
Jita, this is flavor and fun, so I'm not going to require downtime. That seems mean. But I do want to roll to see how well it functions. I will take either mechanics or electronics. We'll say mechanics if you're building something from scratch. Electronics if you're rewiring maybe something that already exists to function.
Can I
controller?
Can I talk you into biotech?
Can you talk? Yeah, but I would probably say. The difficulty, I'll probably kick the difficulty up to 14 if it's that, because now you're specifically involving more biological gear as opposed to just like a basic thing. But you can get an assist from Zatek. That's fine.
I'll take electronics.
Okay, electronics.
I think I know how to do math, and I think electronics works better.
Okay, and Zatek, how are you contributing? And what skill do you want to roll for this?
I could see either electronics or biotech too. Like if
That's
she's
fine.
working on more of like the shell, then I can do more like this is how boars like will live in it and
Interface.
biotech, but yeah.
Sure. All right. Give us a since she's doing electronics, go ahead and give us a biotech. Difficulty 10 for you,
Sweet.
Zatek.
Okay. I get
Then-
extra +1 on this.
15.
Oh, I
very
see a
nice.
6.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
I'm gonna
re-roll one of those
re-roll
threes. If you-
one of those.
Yeah, if you get up to like an 18, we'll do the same thing I did with kill and give an extra bonus. All right.
So it's a +1 on that because of
16
the double thing. So 16. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll, Jita. Take a +1. If you're literally off by 1, I'll give it to you. But difficulty 12.
Yeah, so I've got 9, 10, 11.
Plus
10
1
plus 1 would be 11.
Okay. We'll say that, and you're not going to do any re-rolling or anything like that?
I already spent 2 audience
Okay.
for a couple.
I'll say
rerolls.
at an 11 was a tech with a really good roll for an assist. We'll say it's functional. It's not quite perfect. So like there's some trouble here and there. Like there's still some glitches to work out. So every now and then the Roomba just sort of like slams into a wall. And you just, in Zatek, you hear like, problem. Oh God. Oh God. Ah! And then you hear a crash and like as a bunch of random things fall down that he bumps into. So it's a little, we'll say it's working, but it's like an unstable chassis for now. And it's something over time we might be able to actually look into. Like we should at some point, we don't have to do this now. Melissa remind me to do this. Actually start digging into some stats for him. Like actually statting him out as like something, maybe Zatek, you take like a, like some sort of talent.
There's like a companion thing.
Yeah, there's a
there?
companion thing. So we might be able to stat him out as something like that if you want to. Because if you start doing that, that means you might
Absolutely.
danger and
Yeah.
stuff. So.
We might as well. We've invested a lot into him now.
Yeah.
I was also
He has-
hoping to, because I've got that free philosophy every session. I wanted to do that role with him.
Sure.
I imagine I'm spending a lot. He's getting a new sense, so I'm very curious about like what that's like for him. Like, okay, the one with all the weird stuff coming off of it, that's hard T. The really big one, that's kill. Those two kind of look the same because they're both about the same, but one of them is a little fuzzier than the other. That one's Jita, and then the other one's
That's
mine.
kind of racist, man. Like, do you think all mushrooms look alike? What the heck? I'm disappointed in you.
Don't think about it that way.
Okay. Go ahead and do your research roll. Then what we'll say is shortly after that, we'll say maybe 3 days. It's a little. I think I put it at somewhere between like 2 and 3. It's like 2 3/4 days or something. If you look back on the Haven system map, it actually at the top has like suggested days of travel time. So eventually you do, Jita, kind of get to the general coordinates where your ship was directed. You guys have done your little projects here and there, and it's time to basically initiate the jump drive. So I'm going to need a couple tests from some folks. So we don't need to do... Everyone doesn't necessarily have to roll, but you're welcome to have like extra rolls from people. I think we need an astronomy roll probably to help with sort of inputting the actual jump itself. Something like an electronics roll, knowing that you're going into potentially Laystorm activity, so to kind of calibrate shielding, things like that, to make sure it's going to withstand some of the shearing that might happen. If you wanted to do, like, if someone wanted to kind of manage supplies, like kind of like make sure you have enough supplies, check on things like that, that could be a planets roll. Other things. These are just examples. If you have something else in mind, you're welcome to do it.
Can I do that as
Mechanics roll is another good one,
operations?
too. Sure, I'll take operations. And then mechanics could be things like just mechanical health, the ship, stuff like that. Just whatever you think your person would be doing, or either in this moment or having done to lead up to this moment, right? Like in preparation for, like it's all kind of, we're being loose with time. So like, how do you kind of contribute knowing that this is dangerous? Like it is a dangerous thing. You're literally, initiating your ley dust collectors, and like you can see them opening up, and you're starting to see like this is a very ample field. So it's not going to take very long. Like there are places in the galaxy where there's like a dearth of ley dust, so you're effectively stuck. And so there's certain systems that have much less than others, but you do find this kind of ample supply that you were just directed to. And so you're seeing your levels grow and grow and grow, and you're getting close to that point where you can kind of punch it and get the jump gate to open up, and you kind of zip yourselves through. It's kind of like this, like a sort of watery film. It's literally like a sheen that kind of opens up in space and that you zip into. So let's go by one by one. Zatek, you said you want to do an operations test?
Yeah, just make sure everything's set. I've been rummaging through every part of the ship, trying to find any piece that I could use on my whole downtime activities thing too. So making sure there's nothing that's amiss, that kind of thing. Just general ship prep.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, go for it. Give that a roll. And let me know how well you do.
Ooh, I got a 6 though, so let's re-roll one of those ones.
Okay.
Oh, 3.
Grand
so
total?
was that one bit? 11 total.
All right, so it's an 11.
I don't have any other boosts or anything.
And so you were basically just kind of like keeping things organized. Is that the idea? Like you were kind of okay. All right. You like as far as you can tell, between the basic supplies that you had on board, kind of prior to putting the ship into repair and sort of quarantine, and then we'll say off camera, you guys probably got fuels, kind of fuel filled up. You guys got various supplies and things. You think you think you're okay. You think your fuel supplies are good. You think your food supplies are good. You think everything likely is going to last you for about a month, which is effectively the length of travel between sectors. Like you guys are literally traveling from one sector to the next. It could take somewhere between kind of 2 and 4 weeks, depending on some routing. And so you're pretty confident that it might be a little tight here and there. You might have to ration if this is like a particularly lengthy issue. And if you ever run into a problem, then that could be, like problem with navigation or something. It could cause some trouble, but generally you're confident. What about Maya? What is Maya doing as part of this whole process?
I'm not good at any of the skills you mentioned. But what I would conceptually like to do is sorry, go ahead.
If you have an idea, I was going to say, like, one of the things the book even recommends for something like wealth is literally purchasing supplies. So like it's something you might have done prior. Like it's not, we don't have to like itemize it, but it's just sort of like the general idea of like you leveraging like prior to leaving the wealth that you had to get supplies on board, like quality food, quality fuel. That would be
awesome. And that's kind of actually tangential to what I had in mind, which was that I was actually asked about doing a culture role or maybe wealth, because like given that we've been told to be a transport ship, what would be a good bribe? Because the Lilith and that outskirt feels like something that would have to import basically everything. Given how far there,
Lilith is like, so Lilith is sort of like a watchtower in some ways for the system, for like in system, like people coming into the Haven system, not via a jump drive. So people coming into the system via like traditional drive, because that's where it's out, so far out. Lilith is primarily Legion, like it's their Haven outpost basically. And so they're used to sort of working in the cold because it's very cold. Legion love the cold. They hate the warmth. So yeah, I mean, like it's certainly like it's certainly possible there could be various patrols out here because pirate activity is known to be significant. So it's certainly possible you could kind of come across like a Legion scout. It's also possible you could come across legitimate merchants or a real like fuel supply kind of happening. Maybe kind of trying to mimic some of what they're doing. So I think all of that's legit. So it's up to you. If you want to do culture, if you want to do wealth, your call.
If they're both the same for, you know what? I'll do culture. Culture's higher.
Sure. Give that a rip.
Ooh, awesome.
Chad is stressed out about what may happen because of Zatek's failed roll. We think we're okay. We think
it's
we
gonna
have
be
enough
fine.
resources.
As long as nothing
Have
goes wrong,
confidence.
you all are fine. You all are fine.
Yeah.
That's a 18.
18 is phenomenal. Maya, at a
Wow.
certain point, as the we'll just montage this. At a certain point, as the ship was kind of approaching these coordinates, this sort of somehow known ley dust rich, like sector, not sector. That's not the right word. Section of space along the Lilith orbit. You do get, like the ship does kind of get hailed. You get contact. Like, what's your business here? As like it's just this. It's like a small squadron of like Legion fighters just kind of shifting through here and there, just kind of checking, inspecting, and like they're asking like, who are you? Transponder call. What's your business out here? That kind of stuff. And we'll say like you've got stories prepped. You've got a cover story prepped. You specifically know, because of that culture roll, the exact type of thing that would probably make the Legion less suspicious versus more suspicious, and so you offer like the story that probably sounds more realistic, more convenient.
Amazing.
And so because of that, we'll say you kind of keep them at bay, so you don't get this like pre-jump phase inspection, which like could potentially happen because that's sort of what they do out here. Not only that, but with that kind of culture, with like sort of unexpected consequences too. You even are getting random sort of beams out here of other ships, kind of collecting this, collecting that. And so you maybe even kind of redirect them sort of to somebody else, like kind of send them off in that direction so that they get less interested in you. And like you notice, you'd like, oh, there's some kind of sort of stray sort of black market signals or something out here. I don't know. It could be nothing. But it could be something. You never know. Da 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 da. You kind of just throwing that out there.
I love it.
Yeah. And so we'll say that like you're just on comms for like a little while with them and kind of talking them down and everything. Dr. T. So as
That's
like,
me.
in the time it takes the ship, which is again, how long it takes the ships to sort of fill up on Ladus really depends upon how rich the area is. And this is a rich area, so it's not taking that long. But what is Dr. T doing as part of the process here?
I don't know if it's necessarily a part of the standard process, but I'm going to be checking on our slumbering cargo.
Yeah.
To make sure it's ready for the jump. Last thing we need is, bio emergency at light speed.
Sure. Mechanics, biotech, medicine, any of those three, even electronics could probably be fine. Mechanics, electronics to check on the stasis, biotech or medicine to check on his vitals.
I'll go with biotech.
Sure.
16. I'll take it.
Okay. So biotech is specifically used, in fact, to install people into stasis chambers, which is something that you all have to decide, by the way, whether that's something you're going to do. And from what you can tell, his vitals, he is in the stasis chamber seems to be functioning. It is calibrated. It was pre-calibrated. There was like nothing you had to do. It kind of just sort of knew exactly the sort of like his vitals, or at least the range of vitals he might be at. So you're noticing like minimal erratic way. There's nothing coming out of here that suggests any sort of anything erratic. One thing you do notice with that extra bonus is success, though. You're not the first to go. You see there was a log of people who kind of accessed the stasis chamber. And there's like when you first installed him, like back like three days ago or so, when you're on Miss Pasha, and then there's now, and maybe there's like one or two others, and maybe you checked on them once or twice before, but there's like there's like kind of a stray access time, like we're like someone kind of accessed the stasis chamber, just sort of check on it, just a quick little blip in the log. that didn't align, that doesn't align with like the 2 or 3 times that you've done it. It just seems a little bit erratic.
Is it, the first thought will be, was this pre-leaving planet or post?
We'll say it is. So it was after after the install,
Right,
and I
'cause
will
we had
say
that
it's
time where we rescued him and stuff, and
probably it probably occurred roughly around the time that you were doing the install of Kill's surgery, of his knees, like a day or so in to travel.
so stowaway. I'll let Kill know, because it's probably his creepy friend.
Okay. I'm going to skip over Jita. Sorry. Well, we're going to end with you anyway, because you need to roll the astronomy test to launch the jump. Kill. Dr. T fills you in on this. What do you do with that? And then just generally, what is Kill doing as part of this process?
I mean, usually Kill believes, you treat your tools right, they treat you right. So he's typically working on maintaining the mechanical integrity of the ship. So that's largely what he does, maintenance and whatever preparation he can do to, if there's going to be additional stress on the hull from repeated jumps or going to multiple waypoints, kind of trying to think ahead for that sort of thing. As far as other information.
Let's start with that. Let's do the mechanics roll,
Okay.
and then we can kind of follow up on Dr. T's discovery.
So he's been busy doing a lot of parkour, and
He's tired.
got a
His
whopping
legs hurt.
10, but a +3, so I got to 13.
All right. What you're essentially doing is you're going around, you're keeping both the mundane drive and the jump drive, you're checking on them, making sure there's no physical component degradation that the ship can't stand. You're making sure there's no kind of issues with the hull. Like, all of that seems to be well within norms. Nothing that suggests anything's going to go wrong if you at any point. The one thing that you do notice is it does seem like somebody else's fingerprints, so to speak, like mechanical fingerprints, are kind of on the jump drive. Like I'm going to presume that Kill, with his very high mechanics, is probably the person who kind of gets into the guts of everything. Like, not the electronics, it's probably Zatek or Jita or something like that. Same with the computers. But like Kill, like when we're talking about like using the physical engineering of it all, someone else's fingerprints, you think, like, you're like, I don't remember routing that way or this. I mean, everything looks fine. Doesn't look like anything's going to explode. Doesn't look like it's rigged or anything like that. But like some of it just looks just a little off to you, Kill. And then Dr. T comes in and tells you about what he found as the log into your Legion friend's stasis chamber.
Yeah. Stowaway. Someone was fiddling with the buttons.
All right. Well, that just annoys the piss out of me. I don't like people touching my stuff. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like they tried to sabotage, but I could see they were in there. But I could I could create a false issue, hide, wait for them to show up to see if they'd fix it, then I tackle them.
I like it. It's probably that one guy you were talking about who was all like, I'm here. No, I'm not.
I'll say I'm sorry afterwards. I'm still going to tackle him.
They'll probably respect that.
Maybe. They said I was going too soft, so I think some physical violence is what'll set our relationship straight.
I think so.
Right.
Okay. So you're going to try to create a malfunction, like a fake a malfunction to lower. Okay. All right.
And then lay in wait somewhere.
Okay. Give me a mechanics test to sort of put in to try to make it look like a legit thing without actually screwing something up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll something too. Don't worry about it. It's not important.
Don't worry about it.
9 plus a 3 is 12. I'm really glad I've got that big bonus at the end because I'm not rolling great.
Melissa and Maestro, remember how great I was rolling in Call of Cthulhu on Saturday?
So good.
Carry it over. Just go ahead and carry it over to today.
Went right through the new year.
I'll show you. I'm going to leave that roll there. I'm going to show you it later. I'm not going to show you it now.
Okay.
I'll show you. I swear I'll show you it later. Okay. So, Kill, you set up a trap. You kind of fake something. You even it kind of gets the computer suggesting like like a yellow like kind of alert type of situation. Nothing too dramatic. Like the ship's not going to explode, but something that you probably want to take care of before you go into sort of go into jump space. Like it's not the type of thing you want to leave unfixed. You guys wait. An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6. You finally get.
I hate stakeouts.
You finally get a message from Jita saying like jump drive's full, lay dust capacitors are at full, we're ready to jump. No one's come by.
I'll just, at that point, I'll just take like one of those wax markers or whatever you sometimes put up. I'll write "you suck" on there because I know they're gonna come by and see it. I'm just angry, so I'm just gonna let them know how I feel. You suck. I'm gonna go.
Do I ever see another shape that's not us with my bio lens as I'm going through the ship? Because it shows like outlines of living things through opaque objects. It's like,
ooh.
Okay, so are you actively searching, or this just are you actually actively like searching the ship?
It depends on if I was.
Nook and cranny?
It would definitely be more of a passive thing if I was never told that there's another person. But I did say I was helping like boars seek out shapes and kind of playing games with him to tell them apart, so he knows who's who with the shapes.
I would say if that's the case, you're seeing familiar shapes. You're seeing okay, that looks like bipedal, looks like Maya, looks like Jita over there. Tentacle, that's got to be Dr. T. Like why is someone? That's a weird. You're seeing someone like run up the side of a wall and do weird backflips, which sounds really strange. Knock on the door, you open it up, and there's Kill inside, and so you kind of checks out. All the shapes you've seen, you can kind of account for when you're sort of passing around. And again, just passively, just kind of casually moving about. Yeah. Okay. And at this point, we'll go to Jita then. Jita, everything's ready to go. You're just kind of waiting for that last little, like it's dumb. You just have to hit the button kind of deal. Roll an astronomy test as you try to kind of set up like the jump to go specifically to like these buoys that you're kind of expected to hit. Like you're leaping over, you're traveling through. I'll show you guys the sector map. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. There's while she's rolling, I'll play you
Nice. So I have a 14 plus 6 is a 20.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay. You all are kind of getting ready, you're strapping in here and there. The various warnings, klaxons go on, etc. You hear Jita and the ship kind of shudders ever so briefly. Anyone looking out a forward viewing point can see that kind of shimmery field that opens up from the jump drive, and then you guys get sucked off into, bad phrasing, into jump space. There you go. Now you're traveling along, everything's kind of moving fine. Jita, I would say with your 20, which is absurdly good, you notice within like literally an hour of getting in sort of this jump space, you are confident you set the coordinates in right, everything was in right, everything went in perfectly. You can immediately tell something's off. Like your ship is like you're still in jump space, everything's working fine. You're noticing that there is this rapid kind of depletion of like lay dust, or there's like something, like the ship just isn't functioning. Everything's moving, like the lay dust is sort of burning up faster than it should, or in some ways it feels like your coordinates are you're kind of already veering ever so slightly off. Like you're like a decimal point off on on your kind of coordinates. Just like something just feels very op, and you immediately notice this. And this is around the time when you guys usually have to decide: are you stasising up for this because it's lengthy travel? You can pop into your own stasis pods. You have them; it's part of your ship, and you just kind of ride like it's a quick. You fall asleep and you wake back up and you're there. Or do you stay awake the whole time? Which it's not the easiest thing on the mind to do that. So it's kind of up to you guys. So that's what you get, Jita.
So everyone, so I double checked and I triple checked everything before I put it in, but something's just not right. I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't think I did anything wrong though. Pretty sure I put in everything, but it's just something's not right. I would feel uncomfortable just going to sleep and hoping for the best right now.
Is there anything we can do?
I mean,
realign course or something?
We are where we should be, but it's not working quite right. I don't know. Maybe we
you
could.
know what is going wrong? Because you don't usually you don't do stuff wrong. You're like you kind of know this ship like the back of your hand.
I think we probably have to spend some time trying to figure out what's gone wrong. I can just tell you that it's just not quite right at the moment. So I mean, we could try to figure that out.
Still heading where we're supposed to be heading.
Mostly. Not
so
quite.
You're literally in jump space now. So like the thing opened, you popped into it, but it's like so like you're like kind of sent off, almost like I like think of it like at least the way I'm thinking of it, like Stargate kind of like that woo kind of going through there. Like that's how I'm envisioning it. And like you're just like a hair. It's like there's like this tiny little decimal point like that's miscalibrated, but it happened so soon that by the time you get to your destination, like you're going to be literally a significant distance off course. If that makes sense. Where is everybody? Let's kind of focus on that. Not that it's important or anything. Let's take a look at the posh shad really fast. Let's take a look at the posh shad really fast.
If we got a call that something was wrong for Astro navigation, I would have probably headed to the Astromex lab.
Same.
Okay.
With Jita.
Okay. And
are you doing this? If you're doing it over the comms, though, I feel like I'd be listening in.
Yeah, I would be saying it over comms.
To us, or are you saying it through comms? So that we can
through comms. Through comms.
Because I feel like just by default, I'm pretty much always in the
sure
little atrium.
And I'm going to presume that just you guys have eternal comms, so like there's no issues. Like we don't have to worry about it. You have internal comms. Simple enough.
Okay.
Kill. I'm tempted to look back and have somebody near the bridge.
Okay.
Not completely abandon it.
Okay. So you got three of you that are in astromech. So three of you are in astromechers. You hear you hear that Maya and Jita and Dr. T are in astromechers. They're just sort of digging through like jump drive data, figuring out like what the hell just happened. Like Jita, like your math, everything checks out. And then you hit enter, and then for some reason, instead of it, equaling 5, it equals 5.00001. And because it does, by the time you get there in like 3 weeks, you're going to be a decent distance off course. While that's happening, Zatek, Kill, both of you roll awareness tests.
Oh boy. Okay.
I actually have a +1 on that.
Difficulty 14 actually on this.
Okay.
I'm
gonna use a grit.
Okay.
I think I auto get it because I had a 1. If I re-roll it, the lowest I can get is a 2. So I'm gonna re-roll that.
You can
roll
just
1.
barely. Got a 12 plus 2, just made it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I get a +1 on my re-rolls with my
that's right.
trait. So the lowest I can get is a 2 on this.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can re-roll it though in case you get like a 6 or something. You might be able to kind of rip it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So 2 higher than 15 total.
Okay. So Zatek, you're in the Arboretum. I'm gonna say for Zatek and Kill, this is essentially gonna happen at the same time. So Kill, one of the things you notice, Kill, is when you look over, as you're standing on you come up the steps, you're kind of basically by the bridge, you're the cockpit and everything, and you've got this little railing, you're kind of looking out, you got a sort of a walkway that goes past, you've got your, that heading, essentially, one direction will take you to the main airlock, heading in another direction will take you to like the armory, the mess, the scanners, some of the bunks, etc. You notice that there's like fraying electrical wires that's giving off like this little kind of statically buzz by the armory. And then Zatek, you're kind of talking with you're kind of testing stuff, and you're talking things over with Boris a little bit, and you realize that you see through the wall of your arboretum, which shares a wall with the armory. You actually see the vague shape of Dr. T moving about.
I'm going to turn my head to where I think Dr. T is. Do I see another shape of Dr. T?
Yeah. What's the distance on this? Because I don't think it goes on forever. It's not like you're not like you're literally looking to like through multiple walls at this point now. So I feel I'm cool to say you can see through one wall. I don't know if we can see through like
all of space,
100 yards
all of space.
I look off in this direction.
If it says in the book. Let me look it up in the book.
Okay.
It's more specific.
At least 18.
At the very least, you could also just be like, Dr. T, what's your location?
One ship length, you know?
At the very least, you could get Dr. T on comms to confirm that he's in astrometrics.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you getting a gun for some reason, Dr. T, in the armory?
I can.
Hey, Kill, there's you should check out the armory.
Mm-hmm. I'll try and do so as quietly as possible.
Okay.
Practicing my parkour over the railing and landing softly on my feet.
All right, so you head over towards the armory door, and normally your doors, we're going to treat them like there's just punch pads. You just do a little kind of quick scan. You open it up. We'll call it biometric. It knows all your scans, whatever. It does not open up. You can see that whatever electronics power the door to open seem to have been damaged. Like that seems to not be open.
Yeah, I'm not having that. I'm just going to force it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll. We're going to call it, like, you're just trying to force it open. We'll make it a mechanics roll, 14 though for difficulty, unless you have like some sort of crowbar pry thing that you carry.
No, I don't have any sort of toolkit for it, but I've got a pretty good mechanics. Yeah, so 6, 5 is 11, and then I've got a +3, so I do make it. You
rip it open, and you see that the entire armory is in shambles. You can see that you probably have various drawers where you keep your weapons when you're not kind of whatever your bigger weapons are. Maybe some of you carry them on ship. I don't know. That's kind of up for you guys to decide. But you can see that they're all kind of on the ground, mangled. Some of them are missing ammo. You also can tell that like the overhead, the actual like ventilation above you seems to have been like ripped apart here and there. And it's kind of landing on the ground, and there's like an open vent hatch above you.
I spent a whole afternoon organizing all those shells. That's just rude.
It's not very specific in the book. It just says you see a faint outline of organic characters through non-organic opaque objects.
Yeah. I'm cool with saying it's through a wall. I'm not cool with saying it's through like, 4 walls or 3 walls and like 100 yards.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So, but I will say that looking in the armory now, you probably, if you were watching the whole time, or if you tried to look over towards where Dr. T was, you look back now, and maybe seconds before Kill's appearance, like you actually see his outline, you see Dr. T, tentacle kind of up into the ceiling. And you kind of track it for a little while, kind of heading to the sort of the far side
I'm
of the
going to try
ship.
and run after it.
Okay. There's a door in the Arboretum that effectively goes into kind of engineering jump drive area. There's also one that goes into life support area. There's also one that goes into the mess. So on the map, if we're looking at this, three grade, like on the bottom parts of the map, like life support, the jump drive, and then kind of like the unlabeled bottom right section of the ship. All of them are kind of connected underneath. Like you can see that there's sort of layers and there's like, rafters and stuff. So you can potentially run out into like the jump drive area or into life support. Okay. When you run into the jump drive, you notice right in front of you two things. Well, you see Dr. T, and you see him twice. You see one that appears to be fiddling around with the jump drive itself, that is sort of hidden down and is kind of like scrambling around by the jump drive, seems to be messing like in the internal workings of it. And the other one that you see hops down onto this like walkway between like where you're coming out of the Arboretum and sort of like where the Astrometrics lab would be. Like there's like a walkway that walks over like the whole engineering jump drive section. And you see what is a Tenebrous Nephilim, so the same thing as Dr. T, so tentacles galore, hops down, and as you open the door, you see one just fall down from like a ventilation shaft above, kind of looks over towards you, and it's just like, oh fuck, what do you want to do?
Hello. I don't think we were aware that you were here. This might not be, aware to you, but this is our ship. What ship do you think you're on?
Okay. So this one, like there's one down that's messing around with the jump drive, and like a ways away, it's like down and away, and then because like going down into the sort of the ravine, so to speak, like this dip into the bottom of the ship, is like there's a drop. They shout out, "Just kill him!" And that's what they do. They're going to shoot at you as you see them whip out with one of their tentacles a pistol and fire at you. All right. So that.
There are some unfriendly people here.
Let me double check and see if I get a bonus on this.
I'm gonna say in the comm too, like I think the weight was off.
All right. Let's see. So I rolled a 17 to hit. What is your defense?
13.
Okay, so it'll hit. Exactly.
It's
going to hit. Unexpected consequences, and I actually rolled a 6, so I'm gonna get a strong hit off of it.
That's okay.
All right, so
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Thanks.
I'm just checking to see if I have any extra fun stuff, because some of them have like extra strong hits, but I don't think I have anything special. So yeah, looks like I'm just gonna do a critical hit then. All right, so you're going to take from this, you're going to take just 2 points of endurance damage.
Okay.
But because I did get a 6, I am going to use that for critical damage. That's going to be 3 points of critical damage. So you're also going to take
to a random attribute, right?
That's going to be to a random attribute. Okay. There should be a rollable table if you wanted to roll it. Hang on, let me make that visible to you guys. So there's in the roll tables, there's a random attribute thing that you can roll.
Oh, great. I get to hurt myself.
So grit, hit to your confidence.
Dear.
Okay.
I like the little broken heart picture with the table.
Yeah.
And then, because I did technically get an unexpected consequence because I did get +4.
Does that work on attacks too? For
It works on everything. Is any roll,
Okay.
I think. Okay. I'm just gonna say it's gonna make another, like, one of its allies' goal, like what they're doing, easier. So they're gonna get the flow-on benefit for that. Okay. So that's what happens.
Ow.
Meanwhile, the other one down there, you can see their tentacles are all up in your jump drive, just like, and just moving things around and stuff. You can see all, like, normally, like, there's this like fluttering like series of like rainbow coloring. Maybe it's Jita's influence, you don't know, but you can see that the lighting in the room is beginning to shift and change. Like the jump drive is doing things that it's not really supposed to do. What do you want to do, Zatek?
Please stop doing that. And I'm gonna shoot my canister at him.
Okay.
So polite.
Go ahead. And you're shooting at the one that's on the walkway?
At the jump drive one. I'm more concerned with interrupting this guy.
Okay. What's the range on your canister?
It is a range of 2.
Yeah, that's not a range of 2, so you're gonna have some penalties on that. Like it's like this isn't perfectly to scale with the squares. I just couldn't make it work.
Mm-hmm. Do I get? Is this like in combat where I get the 2 like actions?
Yeah, we'll treat it like that.
and-
That's what I did with them. He took his action.
Okay.
That's that.
So I can do a reposition and then sighted shot,
Okay.
and that'll give me enough there. Or actually, so I get to add focus, which is 3, which will bump up my range.
So we'll put you down on
5.
like the stairs or so, like on the way down. So you're a little bit closer, and then now you'll be in range. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay. And this is a trying to remember what role. This is a tactical weapon.
Okay.
6 + 1. Oh, I get to reroll that 1.
Okay.
Which bumps that up
hang
by 15.
Normally, we're gonna say you're 15, so 15 will hit. That would have missed. Don't forget that on an attack, a 6 can be used for something else. But you could still use it for effort, like you just did. But you also could have used it for crit damage. I will tell you that unless you rerolled, you wouldn't have actually even hit him. So you probably.
Okay, I figured. Yeah.
Okay. So you did in fact hit. You did in fact hit, but you won't get your critical. You won't be able to use that for critical hit. So what is the damage on this thing?
This thing on a sighted shot does 8 endurance damage.
8 endurance damage. Very nice. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
That's very good. Okay. That's very
I should
good.
have got a +2 to hit on that for the weapon. I forgot to add that. But oh well, that's fine.
All right. So we're at okay. Doesn't kill him, but it's a big hit. You can see.
Fucking quit that. You're going to blow the fucking thing up. What's wrong with you?
As he kind of turns back and looks at
What's
you.
wrong with
screaming.
you?
You're literally shooting at your jump drive. And so it's just like, whoa. Just kind of like the not Mel Gibson, no, like the Brad Pitt thing. It's like, you're firing a particle accelerator. What the fuck, man? As they are
One of us
waving.
could survive in space.
But you can't fly, and you need a goddamn ship to get out of here, and it's jump space, you shithead. All right. So that is your turn.
Far.
Okay. So Zatek, I'm assuming you probably communicated something is going on with everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then, if that's the case, let's see. Who normally? I think it's Jita and Maya who usually go first in initiative. I think those are the 2 highest, right? Am I wrong with that? I think it's should be check your character sheets.
Intelligence, and which is 4 for Jita.
Combat
And
order is
mine
3.
is
I think
minus
Maya's
3.
Okay, so so Jita does go first. Sorry, Jita goes first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So you hear first of all, you hear gunfire coming through the door that heads over to the engineering. Astrometric does collect to the upper level of engineering where the jump drive is, where somebody probably keeps his bunk or something like that. And you maybe even hear Zatek calling like over the comms, like some sort of emergency or whatever. What would you like to do?
Okay, so would we say that Jita can get past Dr. T to get out the door that's between Astrometrics and that little kind of catwalk over, or does Dr. T take up that whole space with
You can
his,
get past him. It's fine. You can get past him.
Okay, then I would say that Jita would come out the door and sort of go, and see that there's another Nephilim that's straight ahead, and would shoot at the Nephilim because that Nephilim is not right next to the jump drive.
Okay.
So, let me look at my little things here. So I would say that I will, so that would be a reposition, which will move me out. And then I will do a sighted shot.
Okay.
So my attack is 2d6 plus 9, which is 9 plus 8 is 17. That's the to hit. And then
Sorry, that
I
is
think
plenty. Yeah.
17. Okay. And then endurance
And
damage
that will
plus
also
focus.
that actually is also enough for that's 4 over, so it's unexpected consequence. So it's a defense of 13.
Sweet. And then it does 6. So damage plus focus is 6.
Okay, very nice. Okay. Anything else that you're doing?
So she no, so that's basically it. She kind of came out the door, saw this thing, kind of went, and did her, kind of like you kind of see the glow sort of move within her, and then you see kind of the rainbow colored shot kind of come out right at this Nephilim, hoping to kind of hit core Nephilim and just not like one tentacle that which she just shifts weight and doesn't affect
go center mass
at all.
Gotta go center mass,
Exactly.
yeah, for sure. Because they'll just grow another. Okay, so then it'll be Dr. T or Maya, since you're both at 3, whatever order you want to go in. It's fine with me.
I'm going to spend the entirety of my turn in reposition.
Okay.
Because I want to try and dart and make it over to the life support room.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Since you're going to go down and up. Okay, that's fine. So you can go down and then try to. You have to go up and through the arboretum, but you can probably make it into the arboretum just fine. Yeah,
that's not a door.
There's a door right where I'm pinging. Those are doors.
Okay.
I mean, if you wanted to try to Kool-Aid Man the wall, that's cool too.
No. Okay. So with that, actually, I would land right there. Okay.
All right. Then Maya, what did you want to do? You hear gunfire going on, and there's a fight going on in your engineering.
I'm moving into the space. And can I? And it's your mobility that's the movement. Yeah.
Yeah, like the map isn't perfectly to scale, so like we're just gonna try to sort of ballpark it. Like just we'll just sort of be friendly with ranges and stuff on this one.
Okay. I am just moving out here because I don't want to be behind Jita. But
sure. So you push Jita down to the ground, step over top of her. Get out of my way, stupid 24.
And take a shot at the not jump type guy.
Okay. Go for it. you run in and they see another one.
Do you reroll 6s on hits?
6s it's a strong hit. You can use it for effort to re-roll a die, or you could, on an attack that's successful, you could use it for a critical hit. So you can use it to actually try to do critical damage. It's up to you how you use it.
Okay.
So
does a 17 hit?
Yes, 17 will hit. Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 6s in that case that I did not use to reroll.
Okay. I can tell you with those 2 6s, you are literally going to obliterate this guy. So describe
Amazing.
how you kill the kind of blue-skinned Nephilim creature that's standing on the catwalk above your jump drive, and where Kill probably sleeps in that little beautiful bed right there.
Amazing.
You can
so
tell it's his because of the pizza box.
Yeah. I like how his
Excellent.
shoes are right here too. He's got some shoes.
that
Old
that
man
is
slippers.
definitely good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's turned on her recording thing, and it's like perching right above her shoulder, and it's like a POV shot of this her acid spitting shotgun as it just sprays this acid onto this tentacle monster and just burns him. And
Beautiful.
but it's definitely just recording a POV.
Beautiful. Not only that, it will like eat into some of like the railing and stuff too, and sort of drip down, do like the xenomorph sizzle in your own ship.
Oh yes.
Okay. Then Kill. What would you want to do? I think you're the last to go.
I mean, I spent a lot of time organizing all those shells. I'm pretty pissed off, so I just come charging, clunk, 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 facilitating the noise of fuel as fast as I can.
I like to think that comically, you rush around through the mess, through the arboretum, and you're rushing into the engineering room as Dr. T is rushing out. The door opens, you just kind of like bump like right into each other, like right there in the middle of the doorway. And we'll kind of leave it there. So, all right. So this little guy is still here. He is barely hanging on. He is going to. Okay. He's gonna kind of turn up to you, and he's like, "Well, the rest will be here soon. So, hide and seek." And you see him start climbing down into this tiny little hatch, disappearing into the vents of your ship. It's at that point you guys sort of feel like a and like you like all sorts of these like alarm klaxons and warnings starts going off. You see like now that those of you that are in the engineering room and you see the jump drive literally sort of shuts down. This is very rare. This doesn't happen too often. There's a handful of reasons for it, but you're just kind of ripped out of jump space. Usually it's like a pirate thing. There's like certain tech and stuff like that can somehow kind of create these little dead spaces here and there and kind of rip people out. You guys have been in sort of a jump drive for like maybe an hour. Like you've barely been into it, and you're already kind of and it kind of shuts down, and then you hear like this kind of automated system kind of pop on your comms. That's like proximity warning, proximity warning, proximity warning, proximity warning, and we'll end it there, and we'll pick up on that little moment in a couple weeks, and we'll see what you're really close to.
Gosh. No.
So I'm going to go show you guys what I rolled. So if you scroll up a little, you can see I rolled 3d6s, and all 3 of them were 6s. For an 18.
Wow.
I wondered if that's what that was.
I love
Good
it.
night.
Amazing.
So yeah, it was just basically, could you like, would they have fallen for your ruse and gone down if they, and had they rolled poorly, they would have, and you would have seen them before all this happened, but they rolled so well, they didn't fall for the ruse is basically how I was doing it. Like, that's just too good. Like 3 6s is absurd.
Yeah.
It's so absurd. Okay.
Oh man.
Love it.
If only Zatek would have passed that one operations roll, he would have noticed that there was some food missing. Interesting. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Like, there's a lot of different ways you can
Oh, you're fucked.
Man.
Yeah. All right. So we'll end it there. We'll pick up on that. I'm going to give the space combat rules a once over just for funsies. We might need them. Not saying we're going to use them. We'll see how it goes. It's very
Not if we
much
blow
like
ourselves up.
that's true. That's true. Like you guys, I mean, honestly, this could have been a lot worse because this could have happened inside of like the ley storms, but you guys managed to detect it. You guys did so good. You had so many like little unexpected consequences on a lot of your little rolls. You kind of picked up these little clues here and there that something was off. So otherwise, you guys might not have noticed that, and then like it would have happened while you're in stasis, or it would have happened while you're in the storms, and so you got it pretty quick. So like you really did interrupt them. It could have been a lot worse. But we'll see.
Nice.
Okay, but we'll pick up a couple weeks. We'll see how it goes. Why don't we do some close up plugs now, and then we'll get on out of here. So we'll start with Chuck and Joe. What's going on with DLK?
Wednesday, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Night Below. That's what I got.
Awesome. Yeah. Joe, what about Fridays?
Yeah, Fridays. I'm back. So we are playing Anvia again. The game system I'm developing for high fantasy stuff, and it's going well.
Perfect.
They just did a prison break last session, and only pissed off a lot of people, but it's going good.
Nice. Very nice. Maitre, where can we find you on the internet?
I am Maitre Plays Games on YouTube, and one of my things that I'm gonna try and do this year is be a little bit more consistent. That'll start, next week. So if you're into irregular tabletop content, you should check me out.
Wonderful. Again, links, if you're watching this later on YouTube, check the show notes and stuff. Links are all down there, including I'll link, like I said, to the map that we use, like the little ship map and stuff over in the Che Peku, the Sci-Fi. Like they have two different Patreons. One of them is like fantasy maps, one of them sci-fi maps. I'm doing the sci-fi one, obviously. And speaking of Patreon, you got something for us there, Jeremy?
Yeah, sure. Check out Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
Perfect. As for us, we are back here tomorrow night with more Marvel Multiverse role-playing game. We are in Mojo World. Steven's had 2 weeks to prepare. He probably will start sometime about an hour or two before we begin stream tomorrow, preparing, and we'll find out what actually he's going to come up with. So come hang out with us tomorrow night. Thursday, we got more Werewolf the Apocalypse. You can see Melissa, Jeremy, myself in that. Friday, we are back to Delta Green. And then Saturday, we were doing more Call of Cthulhu, Eternal Lies. Yeah. I just hit them with rain in cars. It was really fun. Last session was all fun. And almost killed everybody.
And is there still time left on the last giveaway for the Marvel video?
Oh, yeah. If you want to win access to Demiplane for Marvel Multiverse RPG, go over to YouTube. Like right now, if you're in Twitch channel right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's too late. Sorry. My bad. But if you're watching this right now on Twitch, go over to our YouTube page, Adventures in Lollygagging, goes to the most recent Marvel Multiverse episode we have up there. Drop a comment, and you'll be entered to win a Demiplane access code. So go to that now. All right? We're good? Anything else I need to do, Melissa?
All good.
Okay. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We're going to go ahead and raid Dork Tales, who are playing again. I feel like they've been nonstop playing role-playing games for like the past 96 hours. So we're going to go ahead and rate them again. Sleep. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like this is like the fourth time we've rated them in that time. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.